Hey y'all, it's Chat with Kat, and I'm back with another Lisa Marie song. But before I get into that, I got a little Elvis gift today when I was in my car out, everybody's out shopping and stuff, and I had it on Elvis radio, Sirius XM, and I got in the car and I heard they were playing a concert from January 1971. Now, you could tell by just listening, but he was going through the audience kissing the women, but he was saying different things than what we know on that famous video that is all over YouTube, where oh, I forgot which documentary it was. That's the way it is. Hmm. Anyway, he goes to the audience and he kisses all the women, and I've seen it so many times. I know what he says, at different parts. And in this particular one I was listening to today, it was different. So I thought, did he do that again? Because there was some book I've read, and it's been so many years since I've read these books, but I think Joe Esposito's book, maybe it was Joe. Somebody talked about him going through the audience kissing, and it was such a security nightmare that he never did it again. So I was under the impression that it was just that one time that we've seen and on the documentary, and it never happened again. But it was clearly this concert, January, I forgot the actual day, but January 1971, that he was doing that again. So does anybody have any information on that? Any intel? How many times did he do that? Um, then I think it was Argo said on Channel 79, they're doing Country Christmas, and Elvis loved country music and all that. So I flipped it over to 79. I caught this line of a song, and it said, maybe down in Memphis, Graceland's all in lights. I went, what? It's an old song from 1985. The group is Alabama, and it's called Christmas in Dixie. And so the first verse, the part I had to go look up the lyrics because I only, chimed in when it said all the lights around in Graceland. Graceland's all in lights. It says, by now in New York City, there's snow on the ground, and out in California, the sunshine's falling down. And maybe down in Memphis, Graceland's all in lights. And in Atlanta, Georgia, there's peace on earth tonight. Peace on earth tonight. Christmas in Dixie, snowing in the pines. Merry Christmas from Dixie to everyone tonight. Elvis is everywhere. That's an old song, but it's new to me, so I like that. Okay. Oh, and one more thing about Elvis in that concert, that he's such a comedian. And I had to laugh out loud when I heard this. I've never heard this one before. It's really interesting because we've had Sirius Radio for a number of years, and I listen to Elvis radio a lot. Like I know everything they're going to play, but this one was new to me. He was getting ready to sing one of his early songs. I think it was Jailhouse Rock or Hound Dog, but I'm not sure which one. But he was talking beforehand, and he goes, I was a lot younger then, and my voice was higher. He goes, you have to do it just right, or you'll strip all your gears. And then he goes, I need a little higher voice. He goes, I need to get Wayne Newton in here. And then he goes, with his brother Fig. Wayne Newton with his brother Fig. He goes, y'all ever heard of him? I'll tell you, his sense of humor, he would have been fun to be around when he wasn't angry. Okay, I want to talk about Lisa Marie and another song that I don't believe was ever recorded, or maybe it was recorded because we definitely have her. I'm going to play a little bit. I don't think it was released. I think, the best I can tell, it was written in the Storm and Grace album period, 2012, 2013, somewhere in there. It's called People. The lyrics are very provocative. And when I say that, I mean thought provoking. She says, on the surface, it might seem like somebody came along that was a breath of fresh air that she could trust and all that. I'm going to tie a different meaning into it in a minute. She says, it seems like it took you forever. It feels like we waited for years. I've grown weary of people. Too much disappointment there. You got here in the nick of time. Thank God you're here. You got here in the nick of time. Thank God you did. So let's listen to that right now.
It seems like it took you forever. Feels like we waited for years. I've grown weary of people. Too much disappointment there. You got here in the nick of time. Thank God you're here. You got here in the nick of time. Thank God you did.
Okay. I read it somewhere or heard it, I went back to her book. And found part of it here that she was dreaming about Elvis uh, about twice a year, one of those lucid dreams, where you feel like you've actually been with the person overnight. It's like your souls meet in the middle region there. I had one dream like that after my father died, and we met in a field of yellow flowers. And when I woke up, I was just like she did. I was crying because it felt like I had been with my father. I could smell him, I could hear him, touch him. It was in color, all that. So I don't know why I get on camera and then I always get a fleck of mascara in my eye. So she's having those twice a year, and she said she had them every year since he died until Ben was born. And she had a deep affinity for that child. She loved all of her children, but Ben, and he looked so much like Elvis. And I don't know where I read this. I don't know if it came from her or it came from somebody's comment. Somebody somewhere said she believed Ben was the reincarnation of her father. So let's look at those lines, the first lines again, with that idea in mind. It seems like it took you forever. Feels like we waited for years. I've grown weary of people, too much disappointment there. You got here in the nick of time. Thank God you're here. You got here in the nick of time. Thank God you did. And then she goes on and she says, people will make or break you. I was broken. Let's go with the Elvis train for a minute. I was broken when you died. Now, how do I keep you protected? If she had the idea that this was Elvis come back to her, she wants to protect him. How can I keep you protected so you don't end up just like that? Broken like she was, or broken the way he was at the end of his life? How do I keep you protected? You got here in the nick of time. Thank God you're here. And she says it again. She says, people will say they're your friend. They'll say anything. I've known too many people, and too much heartbreak came from there. But you got here in the nick of time. Thank God you're here. And then she finishes with that phrase. So on the surface, it could just mean a love. Some people might think it's Michael Jackson, that she was really desperate in her life and then he came along, or somebody came along. But it's really intriguing to me if we look at it in the context of Elvis. his soul coming back to live again. And I know a lot of people, you're not going there. I don't know enough about all of that to make a judgment. I'm just having an idea here. She says we waited for years. So if it were a love in her life, who's we waiting for this rescue of her soul? But if it's her father, we, the whole family, the world, you know, um, mm, I don't want to go. Everybody says Ben felt a lot of pressure to live up to being like his grandfather. I guess he was so much like his grandfather. I don't know. It's a lot of pressure to put on him. But do you think Lisa had the idea that Elvis had come back to her in Ben? So if we go back to that first verse, it seems like it took you forever. So Ben was born in 1992, 15 years after Elvis died. So it seems like we waited forever. We waited for years. So that throws an interesting spin on it. And then she didn't release it. So it seems like it's highly personal, and um, maybe she didn't release it because it was really just for her. So anyway, I'd like to know what you think about it. And interesting. It's an interesting song, and again, just shows what a magnificent songwriter Lisa Marie really was. I'll see y'all on the next one. Y'all take care.